We're live. Good morning, everyone. It's a no news Monday today, so I'm not expecting to take any trades. If I do, it's going to have to be a pristine setup because I don't really like putting risk on in potentially choppy conditions. But anyway, I'm going to do some top-down analysis and then we're going to get into it. So I'll head to the daily chart first. Okay, so we've still got this daily SIBI from last week, which we haven't closed above yet. We may not, but we'll see. We'll see. And obviously there is a volume imbalance on the daily, which is also this new week opening gap. The price likes to revisit this area, rebalance. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Got this. I'll also mark out some liquidity as well. So we're really close to all-time highs. Yeah, I mean, like I said, today could be choppy due to no news. It could stay in this range. It could reverse. It could continue bullish. I don't know. But usually low probability conditions. So I'll just take it cautiously. So on the H4, obviously we're inside this large SIBI here. Still yet to be closed above. We swept this sell side down here. It's only a little sweep, so technically these are relatively equal lows, but ES swept it deeper. So we've got buy side liquidity up here. Price is incredibly close to this buy side liquidity, so I'll be watching for this one. And obviously we have the H4 range as well. I'll draw it from here for now. Price continues, then obviously I'll have to move this, but this is the H4 range, so we'll see how that plays out. Okay. So there was an SMT here, sort of last week, which obviously led to this down move to this sell side liquidity, and it also tapped this new week opening gap from the previous week. This is a classic market maker sell model. In fact, it's pretty beautiful, if I do say so myself. See a little bit more detail here on the M15. This is the smart money reversal. This is sweep of this high here. So on the H4, we also have this unfilled fair value gap below inside of this bearish one. So this is technically a BPR. We'll mark it out. And we'll drop down to the 15. Also, you can see this H4 fair value gap here. Sorry, inversion fair value gap. Price came down, refilled this, and then moved higher. We've also closed above this, which makes this an inversion as well. So it's unlikely that price comes back down into this kind of this 4-hour range before at least sweeping this buy side liquidity. But we'll see. Okay, M15. So here's London high. This is very close. Excuse me. I'll mark out some lows and find the range here. So this one balanced. This leg didn't rebalance, but this leg here didn't rebalance either. So this is the start of the impulse move. And there's also equal lows. I'll let you remove this. And we'll start the impulse move from here. These are the equal lows from Friday that never got swept. I actually shorted for these, but the trade didn't have full take profit. These are an A+ draw on liquidity, but I just don't know if we'll be able to get. I know price will hit them eventually, but it just doesn't, like, when, you know. We're so far up in the range now, a retracement all the way down here before at least sweeping this buy side liquidity is unlikely. I'll mark out this M15 buy side imbalance anyway. Market opens in 10 minutes, so. Then there is an M15 buy side imbalance here that we are rejecting off of. As you can see here, price came down, sort of swept this high, came down, tapped the inefficiency, and now he's headed back up again. And there's also some here as well. This is from PM session yesterday. Since there's no news today, the range will most likely be smaller. So I'll also draw out a range from sort of higher up. See if we can't get a scalp or something. High probability scalp. There's another M15 gap here that's rejecting off, but it didn't come down and tap this one. This is completely unfilled. And I'll mark out some sell side liquidity as well. I'll also mark out Asia low as well. So this is the current leg, the current pre-market leg. So we'll range from here and we'll see how price reacts. Here's that high that I mentioned earlier. Like, we were so close to it, it's just inevitable. Obviously we have this buy side here. There's a big bearish M15 fair value gap up here as well. The price is yet to tap. I think this AM high is most likely going to be our draw on liquidity with this M15 gap above. I'd like to see a retracement down first, potentially after sweeping this high. So this is what I'd like if I can find the drawing tool. There we are. So this is what I'm expecting. If this was a normal trading day, like if we had news and it wasn't a no news Monday, also no news on Tuesday or Wednesday either, so it also just adds to the cautious conditions. But this is what I'm looking for, and then we'll look to see if we can get a long. for this discount here. Obviously, if this runs the high, then we'll move this up, and this lower M15 fair value gap will likely be in discount. So we'll just wait and see. We've got 5 minutes until market opens. We'll just keep an eye on this here. I'll get rid of this for now. Again, like, we do have this new week opening gap here, which is always a draw. Price always likes to revisit these, so it could come all the way down here if it wants to, but we won't know until it happens. So this is the M5, the M5 chart. As you can see, there is a M5 fair value gap here. This is actually a suspension block right here. If you've seen ICT's latest video, this is called a suspension block with the volume imbalance. Stronger if you have a fair value gap inside of the suspension block, but obviously there isn't. Maybe there is on the lower time frame, not in the 3. And there is here, and price actually held this imbalance and tapped it again here. So it's a strong PD array. Move it for now, though we don't really need it. Obviously, we have this M5 gap here that has been tapped. Okay, so what I can see is ES has swept London high and NQ hasn't. So this would make an S&T. We'll see how the market reacts to that going into market open. So we'll just sit on the 5 minute for now, just for the time being. Looks like we might get our retracement here. There's SMT. This is the 1 minute at the minute. A lot of stack lows and trendline liquidity on the M1. It's quite steep though. It's less than a 45-degree angle, so it counts as a low resistance liquidity. And then this is a soup. Alright, there's market open. See what it does. Alright, looks like the SMT didn't even matter. Grab it. Oh yeah. So there's London high. And move this fib out of the way for now. We don't need it. That's a big candle. And we left equal lows. So this will probably be my draw if we get to it. We get the setup for it. So there's that AM high that I mentioned earlier. Said that was going to be our first draw, this buy side here. There's no inefficiencies though, apart from the H4 here. We've got 28 minutes until the H4 candle closes. So if we look at 8:30, yeah, this 8:30 candle, expanded, which usually means that 9:30 will expand too. But I'm still hoping for a retracement. And there's the M15 fair value gap tap. Honestly, we most likely continue higher, I think. Or we just chop around. That makes sense too. So if you notice now, the range has done exactly what I said it was going to do. It's sort of gone higher, which means that these equal lows are now in discount. So if we get a retracement down, take out these equal lows, fill this unfilled M15 fair value gap here, then we could potentially look for more longs. But this candle would have to be a strong bullish close. If it closed bearish, could indicate chop. There's a rejection, but there's nothing really. We're looking for an inversion fair value gap off a liquidity sweep and a higher time frame fair value gap rejection. So we had the sweep here, and we had the M15 rejection here. So this is a sweep and a high time frame fair value gap, but there is no imbalance on the M1 apart from this, and this wouldn't really be great. With these equal lows so close, you'd have to wait until price came down here. And this 30-second, it's not gonna, it most likely won't, given this rejection here. But this is too small, hence why this isn't a valid setup. And you also want to wait. So when we get a big move like this, you want to wait for the second leg. So for example, if price did this, it's the wrong one. So price did this, and now if this moved down here, inverted a fair value gap here, you wouldn't take this. You'd want to wait until price did something like this, and then you got your inversion fair value gap here. That's what you'd want to see, and then this would be your break even right here. So you would take the inversion here. This invalid. This is what you want to take. So we're just heading deeper into this M15 gap. Not looking like a trade, unfortunately. I'm gonna move this out of the way. I don't feel like I don't really want to just keep moving it. Okay, so we do have a nice gap here. Again, this move is a bit too big though. And it's just like floating around inside the gap. It's not like it's tapped it like this and rejected straight away. It's like impulse moved further into it, which indicates to me the price still wants higher. As far as I know, there is no more sell side liquidity inside of this gap. Sorry, buy side. It's just one huge gap. Price will most likely want to fill this. Like I say, I'd want to wait for a retracement for longs. If I would be try something like this, it would be lower risk, much lower risk. You know, price reacts to this gap here. And for 30-second as well. Potentially. We'll see. Alright, if we get this, I'm going to take it, but I'm going to take a lower risk. Obviously, no news Monday and whatnot. I don't know why it's doing this. It doesn't normally do this. And then these equal those would be the target, potentially. We'll see if we get it. I'll just draw out a quick range from here. Alright. It needs to body close below the IFVG for a valid entry. This wick is not going to cut it. And that's why you don't jump the gun, because if I'd have jumped the gun and just shorted there, this would have been most likely just they chopped around my entry or been a loss. So we'll wait and see. I don't like this wick though. Now, if I was going to take this IFVG now, I'd either have to do it in this next candle, or I'd want to see it come and sweep the high again. Because I don't really like trading anything more than a 6 candle reversal. There tend to be lower probability, and there's 6 there, so it'd have to be this candle here that closed below. Or if it came and swept the high again and then closed below it, it would be valid again, and then this would be your break even. This is a 2-minute and a 3-minute. It's quite a large 4-minute that's rejecting off. Looks like we might get it. No, no close. No close here. It's not valid. Still rejecting off this M4. There's no M5 there. There was a small volume imbalance on the M5 if you see this. Our price came down and respected this perfectly. Also stacked with an M1 order block. Okay, I'm going to take this low risk. I've only entered with 2 micros here. Here's my entry. And this is going to be my break even. So I'm thinking that we're most likely going to end up just getting stopped at break even. But the loss will be minuscule. It will be like $70 if it's a loser. So my rule is to close the trade if we get a close above the IFVG. So the risk is only like 20 points with 2 micros, which is pretty much nothing really. but we'll see. We'll see. And it looks like we're going to get it here. I think it might come back for this high if it is gonna reverse, but we'll soon find out. Okay. There's the close. I lost $76 on that trade. So, like I say, I went in low risk, knowing it was a lower risk trade. So, this was a 1 to 3. So, again, it's worth it. It's technically an A plus. It's in premium. We swept the high. We tapped into the FEG. But I took it lower risk. We now have what looks like is a low resistance liquidity run forming here, but there's no entry to target it. So even if I wanted to, it'd have to have come back into premium, into discount, swept some sell side, and then we could target this low resistance liquidity run. But it's just chopping like I thought it would. You can see ES is taking the high. It's continuously bullish. So the markets are out of sync at the minute, which indicates chop. I'm going to give it to the end of the 10 o'clock macro here, and if we don't have much movement during the 10 o'clock macro, I'm going to call it in the stream. No point in sitting here watching chop. These aren't always the best IFEGs when you have a multiple rejection and then a close, especially because we were rejecting off this M5 volume imbalance. It's the lower probability. So if you're going to take one of these, take a lower risk with a high risk reward, which is exactly what I did. The short was here. I don't know why it keeps doing this. It's not trading views played out. This was the close, and then my target was here, and this is where I got stopped out. So it was almost a 1 to 4 risk reward ratio. So these only have to have a 25% win rate to actually hit. Obviously, it is what it is. That's why I went low risk. Move this other way, so get in the way. There's a sweep. See what he wants to do here. There's no IFEGs that stand out. So we're respecting the 4 minute, so see how this 4 minute candle closes. So we left an OB here as well. There's just no balancing from price at the minute. It doesn't want to come down to discount. It doesn't want to, provide that textbook long. Remove this. Let's see if we get a potential 10 a.m. reversal here. Or a 10 a.m. continuation, but like I said, I'd want to see it come down to at least discount of this range. And I don't like longing with equal lows below. Which is why I wanted to short, really. Equal lows, like I say, A plus draw on liquidity. Now, if I remember, we did have a 30-second. I see this isn't good price action. This is just chop. This doesn't interest me. The market's got 8 minutes. Well, it's the end of 10:10, so 18 minutes to make up its mind. Price is very slow. Consistently moving upwards. So there's no buy side liquidity. There's just this infield inefficiency. So, and this to me doesn't really indicate a reversal. Just want to see a retracement and then continue bullish. Big unfilled M5 right here. I would not mind price coming in, typing it. If it doesn't want to come down to these equal lows, I don't mind it too much. Here's the range of this leg. Sort of. So here's the range of this leg, and then obviously here is the range of the M5 leg. Meet them up like that. These equal lows set beautifully in inside of this discount of the M5 leg here. Just don't know if we're going to be able to get a nice setup to them or off them really. See M15 zone. So there's a bullish M15 close here. See, this would be nice if it swept some actual sell side liquidity rather than just like these tiny minuscule lows, and obviously gave some more confluences, and you could take the continuation here, but this is in heavy premium, so this isn't a good long. There's an M3 here, but again it's tiny. You really want to be looking for something around this size. This isn't really what you want to be seeing. Three minutes until 10 a.m. So we'll also get the H4 candle close then as well, which should indicate, or should at least tell us where price is likely to, well, if price is likely to be bullish or bearish within the next 4 hours. So I'll wait and see. There's this gap projecting off the inversion. Like I say, this would be nice if there was like a solid M2 fair value up here, not just this. Like I'm talking something bigger, like this kind of size. If this was sort of right here and there was another low, it would count. It wouldn't be the best because obviously it's still in premium. You're longing in premium, but it would be valid for a low risk position. All right, 10 a.m.'s coming up here. See if we get that reversal. There's a close above that on the 30-second. If it does, it looks like it will. Obviously, I'm not going to take any. I'm not going to take this. This is only an A. This is a actually, is it? It's not even really an A. It's a B setup, really. Not worth taking, in my opinion. especially coming into 10 a.m. as well. We've got ES and NQ both uncorrelated at the minute as well. So super risky conditions. In good market conditions, this would have, if price wanted to go, give us a higher move, it would have come back down, rebalanced EQ at least, or swept these equal lows, and then gave us a long setup, go higher. But instead, price just kind of carried on trading its way back up, without much to go on really. Apart from this was a nice short setup. Apart from the candle closures and the day being known as Monday, buy side sweep, tapped into the higher time frame inefficiency, M1 inversion, 30-second inversion, and an M2 and an M3. So at least it would have been a good trade to go break even here at the sell side, but we didn't get that. That's what happens when you trade in risky market conditions. Price isn't perfect, and this is also why you don't take a B setup in risky market conditions as well. You get chopped, and then this would have been a loss if this closes below. There you are, there's your loss. So we might actually get 10 a.m. reversal here. Okay, there we are, there's the close below. So if you did take that long, it would have been a loss. Again, there's no inefficiencies here to look for an inversion off of just this 3 minute, which price keeps rejecting off. If you're going to look for a short now, you'd need to wait for this M4 to close, and even then you'd have to have take profit here at this M5. Sorry, not take profit, break even point at this M5. So it's just not really that worth it. It's almost a guaranteed break even trade. Still a loss, even though price, it has closed back above. It's still a loss because closing the position as soon as price closes below the IFEG, after closing above it, it's a form of damage control. As you can see here, if I still have my stop here at the high, but I'd have shorted, say here for example, if I did it in 30 seconds. Oh yeah. No, I saved myself. That's a long, not a short. See, this was the trade. Not only is this a 2R instead of a 4R, but having your hard stop at the high and then a soft stop above the IFEG close, which is effectively right here. I've saved myself. How many points have I saved myself in losses? 15 points by closing here. Who's doing this? I'm just going to get a 10 a.m. continuation here. Just super choppy. Not what you want to be trading, really. This was the only real good, valid setup, and even this was questionable. Oh, sorry. Here's the H4 gap fill right here, and then obviously there's an order block as well. So it could provide the retracement that we are looking for. So you had this whole H4 IVG here inverse, which indicated bullish price, which was why I was bullish on the day, as well as obviously the liquidity sweep. But a retracement definitely would have been nice. Get rid of these, don't need them anymore. I'm coming to the end of the 10 a.m. macro here. Need something pretty quick, or this could be time to call it. This isn't really the market you want to be trading in. You might as well just wait for something better. There's always going to be something better. This isn't it. Look at the range on these candles. It's just tiny. You now do have engineered voice crack. Jesus. Engineered sell side liquidity here. Which could potentially give us a rundown to this 5-minute gap. Again, still bullish though. 10-10 macro is coming to an end. Excuse me. You have to equal those here. This would have been a valid lower time frame scalp if it swept these equal lows. Then not valid. This is just bad price action in general, really. If this this is a 30-second fair value gap here. I find the yeah. So if this sort of came down, swept this low, and then we got the inversion. Excuse me. That would have been valid for a short-term scalp. You would have literally been targeting pennies because it doing that. Yeah, but you'd have literally been targeting pennies. Like you maybe could have gone higher in the gap, but you'd be sat in the trade for ages, and it's just not worth it. So you could, like, if this swept the low here, it looks like it's rebalanced the EQ of this short-term range. We'll take a look. Which it didn't even rebalance the EQ, so no, not valid. This is just how you know that the price action isn't great. Like, it didn't even rebalance EQ here. Alright guys, well I'm gonna call it there, I think. Let's see what this candle does first, and then we'll call it. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna call that. Let's actually wait until see if it actually sweeps these equal lows or not. Genuinely curious. Oh, there we are. It actually swept them. There's no inefficiency here. Apart from on the 4-minute. Which wouldn't actually be terrible. I'll think about it. 30 seconds. The thing is, you're short enough nothing, you know, like this is the 4-minute. If this closed below, you'd be short enough nothing because it's not swept any. And again, equal lows is a nice target, like down there, but it's quite far away. You know, you're reacting off this M15 SIBI here. There's no close. Close just inside. This isn't a trend line, this is just trend line liquidity. You just close like right inside it too, which just, dude, what is this price action, you know? Which is why I don't normally trade Mondays, no news Mondays. Just thought I'd do it for the stream, you know? There's nothing here. There is nothing here. Alright, I'm going to call it now, though. Thanks for watching, if anyone did watch. Hope you found it insightful. On to the next one.